Ever wonder what happened to Egypt after its golden age, after the mighty pharaohs of the new kingdom faded away? For centuries, the story goes silent. But south of Egypt, along the fertile banks of the Nile, a new power was stirring. A power that would rise from the shadows, conquer the land of its former masters, and crown its own kings as pharaohs. This is the incredible, often overlooked story of the Kingdom of Kush and the reign of the Black Pharaohs. Around 1070 BCE, the once unshakable new kingdom of Egypt crumbled. A combination of internal power struggles, economic decline, and relentless invasions left the empire weak and fractured. In the south, in the land of Nubia, which the Egyptians had controlled for centuries, this collapse created a power vacuum. The Egyptian viceroys who once governed the region were gone, and for nearly 300 years, history draws a blank. This dark age wasn't empty though. It was a period of quiet transformation. Local Nubian chiefs, no longer under Egypt's thumb, began to consolidate their power, laying the groundwork for a new, independent kingdom. From the ashes of Egyptian rule, a new capital emerged at Napata, near the sacred mountain of Jebel Barkal. This marked the beginning of the Napatan period. Initially, the culture of this fledgling kingdom looked a lot like Egypt's. They worshipped Egyptian gods like Amun, built pyramids though with their own distinct, steeper style and even used Egyptian hieroglyphs. But don't be mistaken, this was not just a copy. A unique Kushite identity was brewing. We see it in their art, which blended Egyptian forms with distinctly African features. We see it in their burial customs, and slowly, we see it in their language. As the Kushites began to adapt Egyptian writing to their own tongue, they were taking the best of Egyptian culture and making it uniquely their own. This scattered collection of local chiefdoms needed a unifier, a leader who could forge them into a single, powerful nation. That leader was a king named Alara. While details about his early life are scarce, his impact was monumental. Alara was the visionary who transformed this loose coalition into a true hereditary monarchy. He established Napata as the undisputed religious and political heart of the kingdom and started a dynasty that would last for 1,000 years. His reign was so foundational that later Kushite kings would proudly trace their lineage back to him, seeking his blessing and legitimacy. Alara didn't just unite a people, he gave them a shared identity and a royal legacy, setting the stage for his successors to dream of even greater conquests. Alara's brother Kashta followed him to the throne and took his ambitions a step further. He looked north, towards a divided and weakened Egypt, and saw an opportunity, declaring himself the rightful heir to the pharaonic tradition. Kashta marched his armies into Upper Egypt, extending Kushite influence as far as Thebes. But it was his son, Pi, who would fully realize this ambition. Pi was a brilliant military strategist and a deeply pious man who saw it as his divine duty to restore order and tradition to the Nile Valley. He believed Egypt had lost its way, corrupted by foreign rulers and internal conflict. In a stunning campaign, Pi swept through Egypt, defeating the various petty kings who had carved up the land. His famous victory stele, a massive granite slab inscribed with the story of his conquest, gives us an incredible insight into his mind. He describes himself not as a foreign invader, but as a righteous purifier, favored by the God, Amen. Unlike conquerors who rule with an iron fist, Pi established a clever system. He allowed the defeated Egyptian rulers to continue governing their territories as his client kings, as long as they swore allegiance to him. He then returned to his capital, Napata, to rule his vast, united kingdom of the two lands Kush and Egypt from the south. This act marked the official beginning of Egypt's 25th dynasty, the dynasty of the Kushite pharaohs. The reign of Pi and his successors, like Shabaka and Taharqa, represented a renaissance for Egypt. They were not destroyers, they were builders. They revived ancient religious traditions, commissioned magnificent temples, and restored monuments that had fallen into disrepair. They saw themselves as protectors of Egyptian culture, the true inheritors of the pharaonic legacy. For nearly a century, these kings from Kush ruled a vast empire, stretching from the heart of Africa all the way to the Mediterranean Sea. They brought a renewed sense of unity and stability to the Nile Valley, overseeing a period of artistic and architectural flourishing. However, their dominance would be challenged by a new, ruthless power rising in the east, the Assyrian Empire. The clash between the Kushites and the Assyrians was a clash of titans. King Taharqa, one of the most powerful rulers of the 25th dynasty, fought fiercely to defend his kingdom. For years, he successfully repelled Assyrian invasions, even being mentioned in the Bible for his role in defending Jerusalem. But the Assyrians, with their superior iron weapons and brutal military tactics, were relentless. In a series of devastating campaigns, they pushed the Kushites out of Egypt, sacking the great city of Thebes, and forcing the pharaohs to retreat south, back to their Nubian homeland. Though they lost Egypt, the story of Kush was far from over. The kingdom simply shifted its center of gravity. The capital moved further south from Napata to the city of Meroë. This new phase, the Meroitic period, would see the Kingdom of Kush flourish for another 600 years. At Meroë, the Kushites developed a culture that was even more distinct from Egypt. They created their own unique alphabetic script, which we can read but still haven't fully deciphered. The city became a bustling hub of trade. Famous for its ironworks, the smoke from its furnaces earned it the nickname the Birmingham of ancient Africa. Their pyramids, though smaller, were numerous, dotting the landscape in a testament to a long and prosperous line of rulers. Queens, known as Kandaks, often ruled with absolute power, a level of female authority that was rare in the ancient world. The Kingdom of Kush stands as a powerful testament to a brilliant and resilient African civilization. They were not merely a footnote in Egypt's story. They were a major power in their own right. They were conquerors who became pharaohs, builders who revitalized an ancient culture, and innovators who forged a unique identity that lasted for over a millennium. From the unifying vision of Alara to the pious conquests of Pi and the enduring legacy of Meroë, the Kingdom of Kush demonstrates the incredible depth and complexity of ancient African history. Their story reminds us that the banks of the Nile were home to not one, but two great civilizations, forever intertwined in a dance of culture, conflict, and power. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed learning about the mighty Kingdom of Kush, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into forgotten histories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll see you in the next video.